Hey, everybody, it's CJ Graham, Jason Voorhees. That's right, Friday the 13th, Part 6. And you're listening to thescenesnobs.com.
What's up, Casey?
Hello, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I think you called me by the wrong name, though. I don't know if
I did. You are, in fact, Mick.
Man, I was thinking about a lot of stuff going on lately, and Taylor Swift is catching a lot of heat for a recent music video she did, and in which she called herself fat.
Yes.
And a lot, and I got it. I understood. I support her and what she was trying to do, and the message she was trying to pass, and what she was trying to tell about herself and be real.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for all the fatties that got really mad about that, if you're that upset, you can join Noom just like me.
Do something about it.
That's the best thing. When all those angry fatties get outraged and such, and they're just like, oh, and like the chins are waving and stuff like that, and they get angry, and I'm just like, I'm fat too. Casey keeps quiet. He knows.
I am out of this conversation.
Exactly. But I'm fat too, and I can tell you, shut up, leave the girl alone, and go to Noom, because Noom has daily lesson plans and personal coaching sessions and support groups, tracking systems, and more to help you with your weight loss journey. They're not going to tell you what you can or can't eat. Like, put down that candy. It's that time of year. Those cookies. It's Christmas. Get out of here. No, they're not going to say that. They're going to say, maybe you need to think about those calories. And then they're going to help you because, as they go along, they help build the knowledge and the wisdom to make informed choices to fit your lifestyle. So join Noom and stop picking on Taylor Swift.
Check them out and make sure to be constructive with yourself and move forward in your journey.
That's right. Our affiliate link is down below or on thescenesnobs.com. And let's get this party started.
Welcome to the Scene Snobs Podcast.
Can you believe that fat man yelled at all those fat people?
I can, in fact. He says ridiculous things sometimes.
I embrace the absurdity. That's how I do things. Welcome, everybody, to a very special night of the Scene Snobs Podcast. I'm your host, Mick Manhattan, joined as always by my partner on this magic carpet ride, Mr. Casey the Man Plot. How you doing, buddy?
Thank you so much, my good friend. I'm very well. I appreciate it. I decided to go in garb. I see you dressed up as Mick Manhattan today. That's a good one. It's a strong look. I went as a combination here. I'm going with a little Jane Cobb as a stormtrooper.
I noticed that, and actually, I really like to see Jane out there doing his thing as a stormtrooper, on the Death Star trying to make it work. He wouldn't wear the helmet. We all know this.
No, of course not. He'd be all about the hat, and he probably wouldn't be on the Death Star because then he'd be dead. So hopefully he has a better assignment than that.
I'm sorry, if every one of them, except for Obi-Wan, made it off of the Death Star in that crazy attempt of a plan, then Jane would have made it.
Well, they had the Force.
Did they though?
Jane's stuck in the churn.
Fair. Chewie should have at least gotten it. He's 9 feet tall.
Come on, he was fine. It was magic. Yeah. Space wizards.
Guys, if you are just joining us, we are on a special night because last night we had a special event. Casey saw a very awesome band. We're going to get into that with the intro real quick. But if you want to, go check out on Slasher 15 Productions YouTube. I had a one-on-one interview with the wonderful Felissa Rose. And we talked about her time making the movie Bloody Summer Camp. And then the cast, creator, and crew of Bloody Summer Camp joined in, and they had a live commentary session. And while we watched the movie, they added some awesome commentary to it. And it was a wonderfully great time. And I was so glad to host it and be a part of it.
Yeah, it looked like it. I was able to chime in briefly from the venue I was at, and it looked like a blast. So, and I do love those cats over Slasher 15. If you haven't seen it, go check out Bloody Summer Camp.
That is one of my favorite mugs. I absolutely love that mug.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, we've been celebrating Halloween hardcore here And of course, you can go back to last week, check out our interview with Kevin Lewis and Sarah Dumont from the movie The Accursed, which is out now. Make sure to go check it out.
Some really fantastic folks. Really good interview. They gave a lot of good insight and a lot of fun little tidbits from the movie. So it was a good time.
100%. Absolutely. And we also had a live paranormal ghost hunt. And we joined the Maryland Phenomena Investigations team, and we did a paranormal investigation of the Cotton and Company Vintage Boutique in Kemar, Maryland. Very cool little shop, but it's very haunted. So make sure you go check out our live video, which was hosted by Jason Taylor and Sir Sturdy, who will be joining us again tonight to discuss. Oh, no, that's another one. To discuss horror podcasts. We're celebrating horror podcasts. We have a couple great guests tonight who have horror podcasts. Now, guys, as you know, we are a comedy show that kind of like leans to the side of movies primarily, but we of course talk television, geek culture, the whole nine. And we love horror. And we started in October. That's our anniversary month. So we tend to lean into it hard for Halloween and just have a great time. But we are not a horror podcast.
Nope. That honor falls to some others out there, and there are a great many of fantastic horror podcasts out there. So, in the spirit of always wanting to celebrate others in this wonderful, most joyous season of ours, Mick thought it would be a fantastic idea to, see if he could scare up a few folks to hop on with us and maybe discuss some of their podcasts, some of our favorites, and just horror in general.
Yeah, and I think that was the most important thing is, and it's when we say we're not a horror podcast, we don't take anything against it. We do celebrate horror quite a bit, but we're not like the horror podcasts really get in the nitty gritty. They really, put together like these shows that really touch down and put a magnifying glass to these great horror movies and shed a light on them. That's just so much fun. We really just get into what we like about the genre. And it's just not the same, and it's not consistent. So to call us a horror podcast, I think, is a disservice to a lot of awesome horror podcasts out there.
Agreed.
So I wanted to bring horror podcasts on, and unfortunately, we were supposed to have two other guests tonight that could not make it. Dave from Nerdbox and Don from the Amityville Horror Podcast. They could not make it tonight. They were supposed to, but we'll have them on the show. Oh, and What's Under Your Bed with Dax. Dax was supposed to join us too, but unfortunately he's just having a crazy week, couldn't make it. They all have great shows. We hope you guys check them out. Go listen, go watch, whatever way you want to take it in, take it all in. But in a few minutes, we're going to bring on Phil from the Spook House podcast. And we're going to bring on Sturdy, which, like we've had him on before, from the Horror with Sir Sturdy podcast. So, Casey, let me ask you a question with everything before we bring them on. With everything going on right now, and in terms of horror and like some of the crazy things we've been seeing with movies just this month, you have everyone kind of divided. Well, you have a small group divided on how Halloween ends as a movie.
Yeah, I'd say that there's definitely some people in the Twitterverse who are displeased with it.
Yeah, and then you have a movie like Terrifier 2, which is an indie darling that just blew up. Like, I mean, that first movie, it was like a lot. It was big in the indie circuit. A lot of people really liked it. I usually hate gory movies, and I liked both of these movies. I thought they were good. But they are a lot, right? A lot. It's definitely a big deal. But and that blew up like that on a $250,000 budget. That movie made $5.4 million so far.
Yeah, it's still cruising. That's the thing. It's still chugging along at the box office. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's coming to Screambox for streaming as of October 31st, Halloween, of course. Which good on them. They did their run. They made their budget. Like that's literally Halloween, first 1978 Halloween numbers.
Just thinking that. Yep.
And that's amazing, and we love to see that. So, with these types of movies, The Accursed came out, which I hear a lot of people talking about, but I don't think it blew up because it came up the same day as Halloween, bends, and
and I'm pretty sure, Halloween bends it like Beckham. So there's
Halloween bends to another direction without Michael Myers and doesn't go anywhere. So
yeah, so don't worry about that. But a movie like The Accursed, I think, is going to be one of those that sticks around for a while.
I definitely put it up there with like those wonderful movies from like the A24 world and stuff like that. The Dark and the Wicked, and I think it's really well done. I mean, it's a beautiful looking movie. So Chris is here. He says evening snobs, and he just watched Terrifier 2 last night. He said it was freaking awesome.
Awesome. Now, have you watched Sissy yet, by chance?
No, I need to. There's so many movies I've just checked out that I have to sit down and watch a bunch. And plus, I'm still completing the 95 days I've been watching horror movies.
Which you're pretty close, buddy.
I'm on 5. 5. Tomorrow's 5 left.
Ooh, that's beautiful.
So, but we're talking about horror movies, and we have 2 awesome people with 2 great horror shows who can join us in this conversation. Let's bring them on. We have Phil from the Spook House podcast. Phil, what's up, buddy?
Hello. Good to see you guys again.
Good to see you as well, buddy.
Yeah, you have to excuse my not professional setup. I have my mic literally in my lap, but it's working.
That's Ultimate Lounge right there, buddy. It's perfect.
Yeah, man.
Just seen our our charity event. It was even worse for us because I was just in the chair, like I sunk. Right. And we have Sturdy. You guys know him, Sir Sturdy from the Horror with Sir Sturdy podcast. What's up, Sturd?
What's up, buddy?
How's it going?
What's up, man?
It's great. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm great. How about yourselves?
Marvelous.
We're doing amazing, buddy.
Really quick with the whole Terrifier thing. So back in 2019, the last horror convention I was at, brought my podcast there. My wife and my brother were there with me, and we were doing panels. And there was some panels where we had to split up. And I was like, okay, you can do the interview ones. I'll do the boring, how to start a podcast ones, all those ones, just to give, because he never had that experience. I had the experience to be in on there. So he got to do Sleepaway Camp. That's when he requested. And then he got to do Terrifier. Now, the cool thing about the Terrifier thing was at that con they announced, which I got to show you guys the video of it. They announced the whole Terrifier 2 thing, and then Felissa Rose being a part of it. I was like, that was just dope, like all in that thing, and he got to record it and all that. And I tell the story. Awesome. He cried after this all happened. Did he? Who really knows? He got emotional though. But no, Terrifier 2. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. That movie is freaking awesome. And Halloween Ends. Well.
And we're gonna get into that. So, have you guys seen? Well, we know Sturdy's seen them, but Casey and Phil, have you seen Terrifier 2 yet?
I have. I saw it in theaters. Loved it. I'm just so happy for that whole crew. David Howard Thornton, Damian Leone. This movie's been a long time coming, so for it to finally come out and to see the success that it has is just awesome. But yeah, I love the movie.
Yeah, I'm still yet to see it, but I am excited about it. And I was never a big fan of the first one, but it's enjoyable, so I'll watch it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It is. I usually don't go for movies like that. I'm not a gore guy. Like I just never was. And but there's something about that movie that just works.
Yeah.
And Terrifier 2 amped it up, and I didn't love it. The effects were great. Not taking away from any effects or anything like that, but it definitely went hard. But for some reason, it's still just really fun movie and enjoyable movie to watch.
I think with the Terrifier movies, it's the way that David plays the character of Art the Clown. Like he really, really gets into it with just obviously he doesn't talk at all, but just his body movements, because he's not just like walking around, because he could just be a guy, dressed as a clown or whatever, just walk around like a Jason or Michael Myers, not saying anything, but not really doing anything either. You know what I mean? Like he's moving, he's doing all kinds of stuff. Like I know he's mind. I can't think. Like he's showing emotion. He's doing everything, and it's just hilarious and weird and crazy and scary, all in one big bowl of fun.
I kind of want to get into it a little bit, and we're going to get back to some of the movies because you guys have both reviewed like Halloween Ends. You haven't reviewed Terrifier 2 yet, have you?
Not yet, but.
And have you, Phil, yet on your show? I know you did Halloween Ends.
Not an official review. No, we talked about it a little bit, but I'm sure we will soon.
Good. All right. So I don't want to like delve too hard into it, especially Halloween Ends since you have shows out, and I want everybody to go check those out.
We can talk about whatever, man.
I'll tell you how I feel about Halloween Ends, but you should still go watch the episode or Halloween Ends. But I'll still tell you how I feel on this show too. Yeah.
I mean, I think we're all sort of in agreement. I've seen both. I've listened to your episode, Phil, and I've seen your episode, Sturdy, and Casey and I have definitely talked about it.
I actually watched your live that when you guys were doing it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we tried not to ruin anything.
It was right after your Friday morning thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was a movie I was so glad I didn't get a screener for.
The episode that when you guys were recording, when I was talking to you about ordering breakfast, but I forgot to hit order for like an hour. So I'm looking around getting pissed off. Like, where the hell is my Wendy's breakfast at? It's been like an hour. I look at my phone like, oh shit.
Just press send.
I had to do.
So the embargoes on the screener for that didn't lift until the day it came out, which is never a good sign for a movie. And reviewers were not allowed to talk about Corey Cunningham.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, with good reason.
Well, we want to keep it a secret. We don't want everybody to get out. And it's like, yeah, all right.
Now, did you guys? I don't know how true it is. If it was a true ending of how this Michael Myers mask was supposed to connect with the Silver Shamrock and all that. They're gonna have an ending in some form in that way. I forgot what it was verbatim, but then they just chose what they chose, which would have made more sense with this movie. It would have made way more sense with this movie. Tie in the Silver Shamrock from Part 3 and all that shit. It makes more sense. But with them just doing this, it pissed me off.
Well,
they took. Sorry, brother. They took. One of my personal favorites. This Halloween, I'll continue to the day I die. Halloween is one of the best franchises and one of my favorites. But they cannot get a third movie, bro. Anytime they go to do a number 3, it has just not gone well.
Well, I feel like with the first one though, we know now what they were trying to do is just Halloween was supposed to basically be an anthology film starting with the first one, and then they wanted Part 2 back. Part 3 did terrible back in the day, but now people love it. I'm one of those people. But this third one, you would think they would just borrow from that third one if they were going to go that route, and it would have just been like, oh shit, because those that have seen Halloween 3 and remember it and paid attention to it are just like, oh, I see what they did there. And they just did some bullshit. They were just like, all right, let's get a quick money grab because we know these horror fanatics are going to come see this shit. Like, they've been coming to see horror movies in these past couple of years, especially since the pandemic stopped and movie theaters started open. They're really going to come see this shit. So let's put it out there.
Well, actually, you bring up a good point. I want to ask you guys about this and get your opinions on it. Do you blame the producing on this and what this movie came out to be? Because what it says to me with like the embargo issues and putting it out on Peacock the same day, what that says to me is like they had no faith in what was made. I think they put all their faith into David Gordon Green, and he sold them the first one, which did really well, and then the second one did well, but it, to me, I still maintain that was a good bridge in a trilogy that just the bridge fell apart at the end, and that's it. Like the other, it's a bridge that led to like the edge of the world if you're a flat earther. So it's just that's just my feelings on it. So do you guys think? I attribute it to David Gordon Green. I think he screwed it up. I think he didn't have a direction, and he was like, I want to do something different. But I would love to hear what you guys think about that.
Well, it was pretty obvious that they had no idea what kind of movie they wanted to make, because nothing in the first 2 movies pays off at all in the third one. They don't feel connected at all. I think it's just bad writing, bad dialogue. They should have just made a Christine remake, because that's kind of what this movie was. His last name's Cunningham. He works at a junkyard, kills people with a car. That would have worked for that, but I mean, pretty much nothing in this movie worked for me. I don't know who's to blame, but wow, they epically screwed this up. I mean, I don't know.
No, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, they had an actual chance to wrap it up, the Laurie and Michael story. We finally were going to get the finality, and we wound up with that.
Why didn't he drag her in? Something. Give us
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't even do that. And I'll blame everybody who has their hands on this movie, including us fans, because I blame us because we go out and watch it anyway. We still go and spend the money to see it or buy it. And they know we're going to do it. And then we're going to do stuff like this about it, which is talking about it, promoting the movie. You should start paying us. And,
Oh, don't worry. We're not promoting this, people.
well, you know what I mean? Just by us
Go watch
discussing.
Terrifier 2.
Definitely
Yeah.
Terrifier 2. That was awesome. Also watched Barbarian. It's another independent movie that did very, very well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was such a good movie.
And it just came out on HBO Max. Terrifier 2 is coming out Monday on Screenbox.
Awesome.
It's only about $5 a month. Not a sponsor.
Did you see that Halloween Ends had an 80% drop in the box office the following weekend?
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, that's like record setting. I mean,
And
It earned
Terrifier
it.
going complete opposite direction, and I'm loving it. Like, they're coming out another weekend, a fourth weekend in a row. They're coming out to theaters again, and they're just
Awesome.
increasing and increasing. And then you have these ones that are just throwing money just to throw money, not putting any care and passion into it. And you guys can see the difference. Start supporting indie people. Start supporting indie. These people put their passion into it. If you look at Terrifier, if you look at Barbarian and movies like that, I believe Smile was too, but I'm not 100% sure.
Pretty sure. I think Sissy.
If so, that's some phenomenal movies for the budgets that they had to work on compared to Halloween.
See, Chris says the ending was weak, but as a whole, I enjoyed it. Ends was their attempt at Season of the Witch. See, I got to disagree with you there because I feel like the second one set it up really nicely for Michael Myers to be a supernatural entity, and then they took that away and had him beat up by a teenager. Like it was just,
and he was hanging out in a well. Cool.
Yeah.
He was weak for most of the movie. He had a couple kills and he's weak. He's getting beat up and he's what is this?
I just like going back and thinking about it over and over again and wanting to like the movie. And I promise you guys, we're going to celebrate horror podcast. It's such a polarizing topic in the horror.
oh, it's okay.
This is a part of the celebration. This is how we
Yeah,
celebrate.
I said to Casey when we were talking about this, I thought the premise for this movie would have made a great sequel to Behind the Mask: The Rise of Leslie Vernon,
Agreed.
where he sort of gets a
can see that.
protege. You know, maybe he gets beat up and like he can't really do it after getting his head squeezed, and then getting burned alive and things like that. So I thought it would be very cool if he took a protege and the protege turned on him.
That would have been neat.
And
Or he handed him the mask instead, as he goes off to die. Something, anything. Yeah. Really, I would have taken anything better than what this was.
I mean, you could even tie all that into the whole Season of the Witch thing. The mask is the silver shamrock mask or whatever. It's in that, and once it's on your head, you're just locked in and you just kill. Like whatever that mask tells you to do or that path is, that's your path. Then they can bridge off and do the other mask. They could have made 3 other movies with those other masks. And this mask does this mask does this mask does this. Mm-hmm. Make a 4th one with all of them in the same damn movie. That's a lot of money that we would have spent to watch that shit. Simple. And you guys you dropped the ball with this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we could have had a mention of Dangertainment. There's so many things that they just whiffed.
Don't make me go get my Dangertainment t-shirt. I will. You know what I thought was funny, and I just realized, and I don't think a lot of people picked up on it. So Kyle Richards is in the movie. She was young Lindsay in the first movie.
Totally wasted in the movie. They barely used her.
Wasted.
Why was she there? Like,
yep.
Yeah, she was just a bartender, which she was not a bartender in the second one. Which doesn't matter. I don't care that she was a bartender, but it was, like you said, it's just a waste. They just stuck her somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, Kyle Richards is, of course, she played Lindsay in the original 1978 version, but she's famous now for a completely different reason. She is probably one of the most famous memes in the world.
Yeah.
And she's one of the Real Housewives. I think it's in Los Angeles or Beverly Hills or something. I'm not 100% sure where, but the blonde woman who is screaming at the cat.
Oh, shit.
That's not her. The woman holding her back.
That's her?
is her. That's Kyle Richards, who
That's
played
so
Lindsay in the
boring.
movie.
Okay.
It would have been
Now-
better. That right there is what hurt the movie. Had it been the other person, this movie would have been better.
Well, here's the funny part. The mother of the child that dies in it is blonde. And when she's in the bar, she starts screaming at Corey Cunningham, and who's holding her back? But Kyle Richards is Lindsay. And it's the same exact shot.
Oh, wow.
So they recreated the meme. And that is the only creative thing in this movie that David Gordon Green did.
That's the most creative thing he did.
Agreed.
Chris says, but Terrifier 2 made up for lame Halloween ends.
Yeah, go see Terrifier 2. Every weekend it comes up. If you haven't seen it, go see it.
Absolutely agreed. So that actually brings me to a point as we're sitting here celebrating horror. What is one of your gentlemen's favorite movies, horror movies that have come out this year?
Ooh. You go first. I never have one queued up.
You can't say Terrifier 2.
Okay. Okay.
Barbarian was a lot of fun. I mean, I was watching that, and it was one of the first times in a movie where I was like, I have literally no clue what's going to happen. I mean, there was just sharp turns, and that was a lot of fun to watch. Not a perfect movie, but pretty damn good. And trying to think of some other ones.
That's actually something I want to watch again because I feel like I probably missed a few things. That's one of those movies I feel you got to watch at least twice, maybe 3 times to really get everything.
Agreed.
That's what I want to watch again. But for me, best movies, I'm gonna say Black Phone.
Okay.
Black
Black
Phone,
Phone's
I
a
really
really good
enjoyed. I really enjoyed. My only complaint is I guess I wish it was a little darker and we got more of Ethan Hawke's character. He's a fucking phenomenal actor. For one. And him
I
playing
don't think you need it anymore. Just him sitting in that chair sleeping with the belt
that was scary.
is like one of the scariest things on the planet. Like, it's just, oh my God.
It's so great though. And then like I just love how he has like this weird obsession, like how he is with this, with the whole punishment and all this terrible shit. And then in Sinister, he's obsessed with the story, with the stories that he's writing. He gets really deep into it. Like he plays those characters so freaking well, so believable.
Yeah.
Pearl was also good. Pearl.
Yeah.
Pearl's amazing. Love
Yeah.
Pearl. Ty West has been doing a really great job with that series, and I can't wait to see how his third is. Hopefully his third's better than Halloween Ends.
Thank God for Ty West.
Right?
Yeah. Ty West is one that, for me, I didn't love House of the Devil the first time I saw it. Now I've gone back and rewatched it, and now it's become a staple where I watch it every couple of years or so. I found what I liked about it and went with it. I don't know. It didn't resonate with me the first time I had seen it. It was The Innkeepers. When he did that, I was like, okay, he grabbed me with that one. I was like, I like that slow burn of it. It was just really well done.
Yeah. I love that movie.
Yeah, it's great. I went into X anticipating another slow burn, and I was pleasantly surprised when it wasn't.
No,
I
Great.
didn't like X. I'm not a big fan of X, but I
love
really liked Pearl.
I love them
really
both.
thought Pearl.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and now I want to watch him back to back, and then when Maxine comes out, to back because
Yeah, and Mia Goth's acting is just amazing.
she
I did
gets
that by accident, but whatever.
Oh, it's cool. And think about how ambitious that is of Ty West. So X was set in the 70s, and he totally nails that 70s aesthetic, like everything about it, visually, musically, and with Pearl, it's almost like a Wizard of Oz or something,
Exactly.
like just
the Technicolor effect. Yep.
yeah, it had this classic look, and now he's going to the 80s with Maxine, and I'm sure he's going to nail that as well. I mean, how many directors are that ambitious to take that big of a swing? And 2 out of 2 so far, so hopefully
doing great.
yeah,
We know
hopefully.
James Wan tried.
What's that?
James Wan tried, but The Conjuring kind of fell short.
You love
I
that
just-
third one.
Yeah.
I love
I was just talking with my co-host on our recent episode that we haven't uploaded yet. We talked all about James Wan movies, and for me, he's just middle of the road, pretty good. Like, I never see anything that blows me away. I don't hate it. They're just pretty good. They're popcorn horror flicks. He's great at jump scares, but when it's over, I'm like, that was okay.
Yeah,
You know?
they stick with me a little bit. They do well. I enjoy them. but it's more about the feel that he gives that I think is what I really love from is seeing his eye in everything that he does. He has very particular sense, and it never takes me out of it. I always enjoy his movies.
I chalk him up to something like a Jordan Peele. I think they both make really fun movies, horror movies, which is you need. A lot of people argue against that and say indie is where it's at, and I'm not taking anything away from that. I do agree that indie is where it's at, but you need the popcorn horror flicks too.
Sure.
The things that really keep you going, and it keeps the genre alive because let's face facts, Hollywood would completely disassemble this genre if it could. And the indie movies are, now that you've seen Smile do well, you've seen Barbarian do well, Terrifier 2 do well. Like, we're going to see a lot more influx of money from the production companies to make to let these people make movies, which is what they need. I'm so happy. I hope the guys at Terrifier get some money from somewhere and they can really do it up and do Art the Clown. I hope it doesn't get flooded.
Yeah.
And it becomes too commercial because no studio is going to back exactly what they did.
I think that's a big reason why they kind of want to keep it independent so they can do what they want to do with keeping us fans, especially people who really love gore like myself, like keeping us really happy and excited. So it's like, they helped us get here. We really love this. They really love this. Let's keep doing it for our fans. And they're really staying true to that instead of, okay, Hollywood, take out all the good stuff. Now let's throw this at him.
Take out Michael Myers. Don't let him in there. You can have him in the last reel somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh
we had a question. Corey, come here. We need you to play Michael's friend and then turn up.
Awful. And especially with a movie like Hellraiser being out there, we get to see that it's totally plausible to be able to remake, to update all of our favorite horror movies and to do well with them. I love the new Hellraiser. It was fantastic.
That was really good.
You know how we know the new Hellraiser was perfect? Nobody mentioned it until now.
Yeah.
Like, it's just one of those movies. It was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Prey too, I guess. I don't know the whole Predator stories. I haven't watched all those movies, to be honest, but Prey, I didn't think it was bad.
Prey was phenomenal. Mm-hmm.
Which one was Prey? Oh, Prey was the
Predator movie.
I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
We can get into that. I liked it. I enjoyed the aspect of it. I liked that it took it back to the past that far. I was like, but the Predator's kind of boring.
Well, he's a juvenile. He's a kid. He's on his first conquering planet, so I get it.
No, I get that. I don't care about that. Like, but that's not what I go to see. When I go to see a Predator movie, I'm not going to see the juvenile Predator. That's not what I want. Like,
how else are you supposed to get the message that really the humans are the bad ones?
That's pretty easy, but don't say that about indigenous people. Remember, everybody, we're a comedy podcast.
I still haven't seen Prey.
Oh, man.
I keep forgetting to watch it. I know. Somebody take my license away. Damn it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, for me, that movie, everything with her and the other humans, I was like, this is cool. I'm into it. And then when they added the element of the Predator, I was like, okay, cool.
You know what it is with that movie? Is it wasn't bad, but nothing really wowed you. Like, we were talking about Halloween Ends because we're like, holy shit, this movie was this bad. And then you're talking about Terrifier 2 as an independent movie that's doing so great. So these two really did something, and the other movie, Prey, didn't do anything to where you're gonna, like, after, I'll say by 2023 we're gonna forget about the movie. You're gonna remember it came out, but you're gonna forget it until you maybe hit play on it. You're like, okay.
That's plausible. I mean, it's like finding out that Hellraiser has 6 movies. Like, who knew that?
No, it has 9, doesn't it?
It's way too many. How about that?
Way too many. And I think that's the thing, like, and talking about the franchise, like, but when it comes to streaming, Hulu's been really hardcore getting into the horror market, and I love that. But they're not making anything that's like, oh, this is memorable. This is something like
that's what stick. It is. They make something that's good, that's definitely good, and probably worth more than one watch. But you just forget about it, so you don't watch it again.
Yeah.
But like, when you're in the moment watching it, like after the end, you're like, yo, I would watch that shit again. But then the very next day, you're like, I forgot the hell I watched it.
Yeah. Shudder's making some great original movies.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I love Shudder. Did you guys see Deadstream?
Yo,
Not
Not yet. I
no.
want to.
It's a lot of fun. Oh, you saw it?
I loved it.
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna watch it again soon.
It's basically like if Evil Dead was found footage. It's just very comical and it's good. I mean, I had a lot of fun with it.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
I'm in. Yeah.
I will definitely check that out. Shudder has been doing a really good job with all their originals and everything else.
Yeah,
I need to write into somebody and try to get House 3 project going.
that would be cool. Yeah, bring back House.
Yes.
Yeah, let's continue it on too. Just keep it going.
Yeah, that's all you have to do. You'd have to retcon nothing. You can just move forward with a house.
I
Congratulations.
mean, the sequel has the best tagline in history: "House 2, the second story." I mean, how can you get better than that? It's great.
Love it.
Oh my god. So I want to get into horror podcasting a little bit and ask you guys. There are a lot of horror podcasts out there. Everybody really loves this genre. I mean, you don't see a lot of drama or comedy movie podcasts.
I'm working on my Jane Austen podcast. Don't worry.
I'm sure there's an Adam Sandler appreciation podcast somewhere, but you don't see a lot of other genres that are really celebrated. Sci-fi, of course, but not as much as horror.
Maybe anime, but I get what you're saying.
Anime, yeah, is probably another one. Like those are like the geek niches. I think those are the ones that you can kind of do it, and these genres are so rich with so much to talk about. Why do you guys think that horror, as the boom of podcasts, both of you having been around since before the boom of 2020 with podcasts, Phil, you were around in 2019, and I think it was 2018 you started, right?
17.
It's 2017, yeah. So now is seeing this boom and seeing so many horror podcasts kind of coming out, and you guys have been doing this for a while. My question to you is, what do you think podcasters in this genre need to do to keep it fresh and keep it, interesting for an individual?
Don't do what everyone else is doing. Do what you love doing. Like if there's a certain subgenre, just because we're speaking on horror, if there's a certain genre, subgenre, whatever is your favorite for you and your co-host, and that's what you guys want to discuss, that's what you guys want to talk about, that you guys know and love, front to back, do it. No matter what anyone else says, if that's your passion for it, don't switch up for anyone else. Don't switch up for the likes, for the shares, and all that other bullshit, because that's only gonna last for that episode. Let's say that, and then it's gonna go back to you guys being your normal selves, or not being your normal selves and getting upset and uncomfortable and all that. Just be yourselves, have fun. Trust me.
I would say don't be too rigid with it. We'll cover Halloween Ends or something and break it down scene by scene, but at the same time, we'll go off on these crazy tangents and like make each other laugh our asses off. And I think by doing stuff like that, people get to know who you are as more than just guy saying, "Hey, this happens and this happens." Like, yeah, we've seen the movie, but I think if basically just have fun with it. Like, these are just movies,
I want to say
It's
something else.
entertainment, yeah.
What else, or something else too, to answer one of your questions, Mick, why horror podcasts are so popular too versus other subgenres like that is they're easier to dive into. Like you can watch a bad horror movie and not be upset about it. I feel like any other genre, if you watch one of their worst movies, you're gonna be sick.
Yep.
You're like, what? Why did I just do this to myself? This was
Although-
at least the horror you got. Well, I can't say that because Blood Lake was god awful.
Blood Lake. Yeah. That's it.
But I got people to watch it.
Yeah, I know, and I hate you for it. I've seen that movie 3 times, and I did not.
Awful. Hey, Phil, watch Blood Lake.
Don't
Yeah.
watch Blood Lake.
on Tubi.
Blood Lake. Okay, I'm down.
No,
1980s.
don't do it. Please don't. Do it.
To everybody, watch Blood Lake.
No, forget that. If we've had to watch it, everyone has to watch it.
And
Oh my
again,
God.
and just jokes like this, and with horror, like I really want people to go out there and watch it. Did I like the movie? Hell no. But they made it. They created it. They deserve the love.
I'm sorry. Do you think I'm kidding when I tell people not to watch Blood Lake?
I'm not.
I'm
Everyone go out there and see it. Go check it
I'm
out.
1000% not kidding. Do not
And
watch
if
that
they-
movie.
just tell them Sturdy sent you. If there's somehow you can do that, just say Sturdy sent you. That's it.
You know
Just
what's funny?
rewatch Blair Witch Project. You'll be fine.
I love that movie.
Oh god, I just watched that the other day. I still love that line when he's like, "Kicked it in the river." Kicked the map in the river.
Why?
Hey, man, that movie still kind of creeps me out whenever I watch it by myself at night. Like, I rewatched it a few months ago, and I don't know what it is, but I think there's just something terrifying about being lost in the woods. But then you add this witch shit on top of it. Sorry for cussing. Can I cuss?
Nah, you're good. You're
Okay,
fine.
sorry. But yeah, I don't know. We don't have to talk about Blair Witch, but I love that movie.
No,
I don't hate it by any means. I like Blair Witch a lot. I think it's a good movie. I was watching it the other day, and I'm like, oh man, there's a lot of really good scenes, but there's those they go a little too far sometimes with those other scenes where you're just kind of like, all right, dragging this on and get to the good stuff.
Yeah.
I love everything about that movie. Like, that's probably my favorite found footage movie, if you want to call it that. And those scenes, what I thought about was just like, because I used to have a little camera, and me and my just running around the neighborhood acting like crazy chocolate fools. We would, run around, jumping around and stuff, and I could see it just with the way the shaky camera was and those extra elongated scenes just from playing around in the backyard with the camera. So I can relate to those scenes, and that made me enjoy it more. And then just the simple story and all that stuff with it, I was like, this is my shit. And
the marketing campaign was legendary.
Here's the kicker, though. My first time seeing it was like a year ago, maybe 2 years tops.
Oh, wow.
Pandemic. Yeah, or maybe it wasn't. I don't remember when it was exactly, but it was very recent. And I say for me, it worked better that way than if I watched it as a kid, because I wouldn't have been as focused with it, because it wasn't like regular slasher gory stuff, which is my favorite. Mm-hmm. It was something where you got to really just kind of sit there, relax, and just chill and pay attention to it, and just kind of enjoy the simple story. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, seeing it in adulthood probably made more sense, but I wish I could have seen it with all, because I was alive in that era. I was old enough to see it. It was just in the era with all the stuff going on with it. It would have probably been a better watch with this mindset, though. Not.
That's fair, yeah, and it was one of my favorites for the use of negative space. It's the stuff you don't see, the things that are affecting them, and you're getting their versions of it. But the ending with him standing in the corner, that's exactly what gets me, Phil. That's the one that freaks me out, that I love, is that part that creeps me out. Like, the whole movie I'll laugh at, and then that part hits, and I'm like, done.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
I saw it in theaters when I was 11, and I remember at the time, like, this is one of the first found footage movies. So, like, there's that weird, like, the movie just pops on. It just starts. I don't even think there were previews.
Nope.
And I was like, what the hell is this? It was like this new thing. And at the time, I thought it was real because the internet wasn't what it is today. So I was like, oh my God, these people are actually dead. And it totally got me, man. I was like, yo, this movie's terrifying.
By that point, unless it was a documentary, and even then it would have to have been like a huge documentary that came out in theaters, and for a mass release, you never really saw found footage. Now, I'm not saying they didn't exist, people. I know they existed, Cannibal Holocaust things.
Oh, of course.
But you never really saw a found footage movie on the big screen in a mass release in theaters. And for that to happen, and for them to bring that and have that marketing campaign of what happened to these people and such, yeah, it was unlike anything else. And I don't think it will be anything. I just don't think we'll ever see anything like that again. That sort of type of marketing for a movie.
The marketing was amazing, and the fact that, like, even when they came out when the cast was at the MTV Movie Awards, they came out to present something, and I was confused because I was pretty young as well, Phil. I was right around 12, and I was like, I don't get this.
They weren't going to. They didn't want to.
Oh, really?
Because it was only months after it came out that happened. They didn't want to, and the director didn't want them to. He wanted to keep it going and just be like, no, don't do it. And because they weren't like celebrities, so they weren't like jumping in. Somebody had told me that they were like made to, because people were still worried that they were missing.
So what? Let them worry. Sell the t-shirts and shit. Sell the merch. It's fucked up, but so what? Get the merch out there. And the reason why I say that is because if somebody had a shirt right now from that movie Blair Witch, So-and-so's missing, was one of the cast members on the shirt. You know how much that shirt would be right now? You know how much that shirt would be worth right now?
A lot.
I'm keeping this going.
A ton. On top of that,
Musical chairs.
imagine meeting them at a con. You get the shirt signed by the whole cast. Boom, more money. Let it sit. People are gonna want that shit because
It's true. And that merch opportunity was shot with Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows. So I mean, once you throw that out there, the entire series is done.
Casey, my friend, I found that shit out the hard way. I do watch parties now, and that was the second movie, and I was just like, why did they do this shit? Out of all, like, I know people get upset. I finally understand. It took me till Blair Witch 2 to understand why people get upset when certain movies are made as sequels, because none of them bothered me as much as this fucking movie. I was like, oh my God. Like,
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It does have a small cult following, though. I mean, I'm not one of them, but
and I went in there wanting to like the movie, really wanting to enjoy it. I went there with positive intentions, and about 5 minutes later, everything went to shit. I was like, oh, this is road. They had an incredible amount of angst in that movie. Like, it was bad. It was like, on the level of The Faculty, but it didn't fit the theme of Blair Witch. I feel like it was worse than The Faculty, though.
I just don't think they knew. I think they wanted to rush a sequel and they didn't know what to do.
They should have never made a sequel. That's one of those movies. That's what I was going to say. That's one movie that I can say does not. I can see a lot of other horror movies I get, but this one does not need a sequel at all. It's better left as it is. Just because the way the story was, it's better left as it is.
Well, Sturdy, you like to call me an old man, and here I'm going to show you my age when I say that was a time when sequels were all the rage, and you needed to have a sequel to be successful.
True.
So, welcome to the 2000s.
Right? Addams Family 2, H2O.
Both movies in the 90s.
Yeah. But that was that same era.
2000s, Casey. God,
it's the same time. 2004 is still the 90s.
And that's why we're not a horror podcast.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes with those years, they kind of blend together. It's like, it was about 1990, 2004.
See, it's all the same. Disturbing behavior, all of them 2000s movies.
Yeah, the Kevin Williamson era when he was
Yes.
Speaking of which, go check out our new episode.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't.
Teaching Mrs. Tingle. It's out now. So, guys, we want to thank you guys for coming on. Before we go, though, because we are coming down to the final minutes, we have a question from Chris who's watching, but I have a quick question first. What's a horror movie that's coming out, whether in the next year or so, that you guys are really looking forward to?
We're actually going to see it Saturday. What is it called again? Pray for the Devil. Basically, any horror movie that comes out, my wife and I will just go see it the weekend of or the weekend after, just to see it, good or bad. Halloween ends. But we'll still go see him. So this movie looks good. Hoping it is good. I'll let you guys know if it is or not.
Awesome.
My fingers.
We'll tune into Sir Sturdy to check out and see if it's worth it.
How about you, Phil?
There's not like any real heavy hitters coming out soon that I can think of. You know what? The new M. Night Shyamalan movie. I forgot the name of it. Like Knock at the Door or something.
The cabin. Knock at the cabin door.
Yeah, Knock at the whatever it's called. I saw the trailer and I'm like, all right, M. Night, you've had a spotty record, so I'm kind of curious to see what you're gonna do here. So
that's awesome.
Probably something without a decent payoff.
And
most likely, yeah.
Said right there how he had a shaky record, but he's still gonna go check out the movie. That's another reason why horror works so well, because most genres is like, okay, this director or whatever has a shaky record. You know what? I'm done. I'm gonna give it a break. If somebody brings a movie over, I'll watch it. Other than that, but with horror, it's like, okay, this director put out one movie in the 80s that was amazing. The last 22 movies were bullshit, but he's coming out with a movie Friday. I gotta go see it. It's probably gonna be good this time, and it's not.
Never.
But horror fans are just like, it's just cool seeing horror on the big screen too. I don't think there's anything better than seeing a horror movie, no matter what type of subgenre is your favorite. I don't think there's anything better, even action, Marvel. There's nothing better than when you're locked in that horror movie and you're just like, oh my God, and you're paying attention to the story or whatever's going on in that movie. And I mean, it's just
as long as you don't get sucked in, or like the stuff doesn't come get you, or the Thing, or the Blob, or any of the dangerous things, Well, movie theaters scare me now because of all the horror movies.
Well, Chris asked, "What's your favorite horror scene or line?"
favorite horror line is from Thanksgiving. The very first line, "Nice tits, bitch." I mean, I watch that movie once a year. I usually review it once a year. I try to introduce at least one new person, have them come on the podcast. That Tuesday of Thanksgiving that week.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a sturdy tradition.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's mine. Another indie movie, by the way, people.
How about you, Phil?
Oh man, never have one lined up, but I'll pick a subtle moment from Halloween when Tommy Doyle looks across the street and Michael's just standing there. It's not over the top. It's just creepy, subtle, atmospheric. It's perfect. Something that Halloween Ends didn't have. Zero atmosphere, zero subtlety, just bad ideas.
Very fair. Born in lust, turn to dust. Born in sin, come on in. That's the best line ever.
The best scene in Halloween Ends is when the attic door got kicked. After that, the movie went downhill.
Yeah, that was
all right. Sturdy
that was
stuff.
good.
No, it was fun. I cannot.
It was pretty comical, though.
Yeah,
I will say this, Chris. Storm in the Century is a good one. I do like that one. That's a great one.
That's a great movie. I love that one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, we want to thank you so much for joining in, talking about horror podcasting with us. And guys, we urge you to go check out their shows, the Spook House Podcast, which can be found any podcast platform. And the same with Horror with Sir Sturdy. You guys are awesome. Phil, we're so glad we finally got you on the show. We want to have you back on more, be able to talk about more. So, guys, thank you again. And you guys are awesome. Just everybody go check out their show, please.
Keep kicking ass, guys. We appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Good to meet you too, dude. Yeah.
We'll get you guys hooked up too, so that way you guys can talk too.
Sure.
Good,
Take care, everybody.
Good night, gents.
Yes.
Yes. The
Amazing.
horror
It was a lot of
community
fun.
always building upon each other. It's a wonderful thing. That's the reason I love horror movies. I think that's one of my favorite parts of horror movies is the community, the people that come out of it. You know, where all the ghouls and the gremlins and the goblins and the weirdos, and it's nice that we have our own little niche we get to hang out with. So
I'm kicking you out if you start getting cathartic about horror.
no, fair enough. That's good.
No.
Less than 8 minutes. I'm fine.
No. So as we're kind of winding down, Chris says, "Good job, Mick. You remember." So proud. Yeah, I do. I love that movie. I watch it every year when it snows. That and The Thing are my go-tos. So
you and The Thing.
I love The Thing. I always will. It's the best of horror, in my opinion. So okay, we're getting into it. It's almost the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
We've done pretty much horror content. We've done mostly content every day. Tomorrow we're gonna have a couple of shows popping up, so make sure you check it out. Does It Suck? Teaching Mrs. Tingle's coming out. So, and we're gonna have Does It Suck? The Wolf Man from 2010. Make sure to go and check that out when it comes out as well. Here's the thing, everybody. This Friday, I don't care who comes or not, we are having the Downton Julie Braun.
Oh, yes.
Scene...
Downton Julie Braun.
You say it so much better.
Downton Julie Braun, Scene Snobs Halloween Bash live event.
And that is October 28th at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's our Halloween party. Make sure you guys join in. If you were listening to it afterwards, make sure you join in on the Discord, talk to us, celebrate Halloween, celebrate October. It's our anniversary month. It's been a great month. We are going to be slowing down a little bit coming up in November. We need to, but we are super excited. Guys, we appreciate you so much. Remember to Friday morning, 7 to 10 a.m., we have our Scene Snobs Morning Drive live show. We'd love for you to join in on that. Always
Absolutely.
a great time.
It's a fantastic time. Super excited for this week's episode. So make sure to join us and get your day started off right.
Damn right. So as we are kind of unwinding and, you go check out the morning show, remember, we will resume to our normal time and day, Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern live on next Tuesday and for the foreseeable future. I feel dirty. I feel like we're cheating on Tuesday with Wednesday.
Yeah, I know this Wednesday thing doesn't feel right.
No.
I feel like you want to do something weird and just end it.
No, we
Turn it
got
off.
to
Just shut
thank
it down.
patrons and everything.
Well,
we
yeah.
gotta
I
do
mean, let's thank everybody and then just shut it down.
Well, technically, what I can do is I can do this. Thank our awesome patrons: Tim, Paul, Stacy, Matt, Aaron, Chris S, Chris H,
Dan, John B, Ron, Jason, AJ, Radar, and John W. We love you all. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, you help us keep the lights on, and you guys are amazing. And if you guys want to join, we have 3 tiers available, all different prices, things like that, and it helps us go a long way in keeping these shows going and stuff like that. So patreon.com/thescenesnobs is where to go.
And make sure to check us out on our Discord. Join and be part of the Snobs Nation, where we all get together. We have fun conversation. We basically carry on all the stuff we do here, just in a better form and cooler format by some awesome moderators who we are super grateful for. So it'd be great to see you. Make sure to join up so you can stay in touch with your favorite snobs.
And guys, remember to hit that like button on this video if you're watching it. And if you're on YouTube, please subscribe to us. If you're not on YouTube right now, head over and check out the Scene Snobs on YouTube and subscribe, because it helps us go a long way, helps us, with producing these shows and monetizing and things like that. We have great shows like, of course, the Scene Snobs Podcast live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. The Scene Snobs Morning Drive live show, which is brand new, but it's on Fridays from 7 to 10 a.m. And then we have other shows pop up like Real Combat, Does It Suck, Geek Fest Live, Scene Snobs Movie Reviews, Plot Roast, and we have more coming.
And then we also have merch. Don't you want to assail yourself of some of the finest finery ever? Anywhere, perhaps historically? Well, pop on over to thescenesnobs.com. You can go from there to our merch store, and you can get some amazing stuff, because I know the morning drive is no good without that mug in the morning.
That's true. And we actually have just to note, we do have Tumblr mugs that you can get with our logo on it. There's more available on the site. Go check it out. Guys, make sure you're following us on all social medias, because we do different things. We have different daily videos, stuff like that. Pictures that we are always popping up. Follow us at the Scene Snobs everywhere, or you can follow Casey at Plotimus21 on Instagram, at Casey the Madman on TikTok, at Twitter Night on Twitter. And that's where you follow us on everything.
Boom.
Casey, take it away.
Well, we thank you so much for joining us here on this crazy, weird Wednesday. It was fantastic having Phil and Sturdy. We appreciate it. And hopefully we were able to give you a little entertainment, make you laugh, and introduce you to some new movies. So we appreciate it as always. And remember, to be kind to yourself and be kind to each other.
And as always, I can't say it better myself, so I'll just say see you next Tuesday. Take care.